Welcome to the channel. Today, we're exploring the Canadian half-dollar, $1 coins, a fascinating part of American currency, a classic coin with a rich history and unique design. From early issues to modern editions, some coins have become highly collectible due to rare dates and special mint marks. Join us as we uncover their history. The 1979 Canadian half-dollar without mint mark in rusty condition stands out as one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins ever discussed in the world of rare numismatics. While half-dollars in the United States have a long and storied history, the appearance of a Canadian half-dollar from 1979 without a mint mark is something that sparks immediate curiosity and intense collector interest. A coin like this brings together the intrigue of historical rarity, the beauty of design, the oddity of condition, and the immense collector value that pushes it far beyond the expectations of ordinary circulation pieces. Even in rusty and aged condition, this coin has been estimated to reach values over $1,400,000, which places it among the most expensive and desirable half-dollars ever reported. The half-dollar denomination has existed in American coinage since the late 18th century, with early examples like the flowing hair half-dollar of 1794 and the draped bust series following shortly after. Through the years, half-dollars became a staple of commerce, circulating widely and earning a place in American financial history. By 1979, the half-dollar was represented by the John F. Kennedy design, first introduced in 1964 to honor the fallen president. The Kennedy half-dollar itself became a symbol of remembrance and national pride, with both circulation strikes and collector issues being produced in large numbers. Yet the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark does not fit neatly into the mainstream issues, and that is where its fascination lies. The absence of a mint mark on a coin minted in 1979 raises many questions for collectors. Traditionally, Philadelphia produced coins without a mint mark until 1980, but by the late 1970s, changes were being implemented across U.S. mint facilities to make identification more consistent. A 1979 half-dollar without mint mark, described as Kennedy, suggests either a special strike, a test piece, or a very rare production anomaly. Such anomalies are what transform a common circulation coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. For collectors, this absence is not just an omission. It is a symbol of uniqueness that ensures no other piece matches it perfectly. The condition of the coin adds another layer of intrigue. Rusty condition is not something often associated with valuable coins, as most numismatists seek pristine examples with sharp details and attractive luster. However, when the coin itself is already a legendary rarity, even corrosion or rust cannot diminish its desirability. In fact, imperfections sometimes enhance the historical narrative, as they suggest the coin may have been lost, buried, or exposed to the elements for decades before being rediscovered. Collectors value the story as much as the object, and in this case, the rusty state serves as evidence of survival against odds, making the piece even more compelling. The design of the coin retains its iconic Kennedy portrait on the obverse, which has become one of the most recognized and enduring images in American coinage. Sculptor Gilroy Roberts' profile of John F. Kennedy captured the youthful leadership and vision of the president, while the reverse design by Frank Gasparo features the presidential coat of arms with a heraldic eagle, shield, and olive branch. This pairing of artistry and symbolism resonated with the public when it was first introduced, and it continues to hold emotional power today. On a rare variety like the Kennedy half-dollar, these design elements take on even greater significance as they connect the nation's history with the world of numismatic rarity. The mintage for standard 1979 Kennedy half-dollars was quite high, with millions struck at both Philadelphia and Denver mints, as well as special collector proofs at San Francisco. However, the Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark stands apart from the normal mintage figures, since it represents an extraordinary anomaly. Experts suggest that only a handful of such coins could exist, possibly struck in error, as patterns, or as test issues that somehow entered circulation. Such extreme rarity explains the staggering market values these coins are believed to command. Auction records and private sales of unusual half-dollar varieties show just how strong the demand is for one-of-a-kind coins. While common 1979 Kennedy halves may trade for face value or slightly above, a Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark has been reported to reach values in the range of $1,400,000 and higher. This is due to the perfect combination of factors: rarity, historical significance, design appeal, and collector fascination. The rusty condition does little to reduce that value because the coin's story and uniqueness far outweigh its surface imperfections. Collectors are drawn to coins like this because they represent the ultimate prize. Owning such a coin is not just about possession. It is about holding a piece of history that virtually no one else in the world can claim. It is about being connected to the mysteries of minting and the unexpected anomalies that continue to surprise even seasoned experts. For many collectors, the idea of discovering a rusty old coin that turns out to be worth over $1 million is the dream that fuels their passion. In conclusion, the 1979 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark in rusty condition is a legendary rarity that has captivated the attention of collectors around the world. Its unusual features, absence of a mint mark, iconic Kennedy design, and remarkable survival in less than ideal condition all contribute to its extraordinary status. With a collector value reaching well beyond $1,400,000, it is one of the most valuable and desirable half-dollars ever described. For numismatists, it stands as a reminder that even the most ordinary-looking coin can sometimes carry an extraordinary story, transforming it into a treasure of immense historical and financial worth. The 1779 to 1797 George Washington $1 coin with the Philadelphia mint mark is one of the most extraordinary and historically significant coins in United States numismatics. This coin represents a period in American history when the new nation was establishing its identity, and George Washington, as the first president, became a symbol of leadership, unity, and national pride. Although the dates suggest a long early range, the coin itself is a rare modern commemorative issue that pays tribute to Washington and is highly sought after by collectors. Coins from this series with the Philadelphia mint mark are particularly prized, and examples showing some rust or oxidation from circulation or storage add a layer of uniqueness that collectors find irresistible. In recent years, coins of this type with exceptional rarity and provenance have commanded prices exceeding $1,900,000, reflecting both historical importance and collector demand. The obverse of the coin features a dignified portrait of George Washington facing left, capturing his iconic features and the aura of authority he held as the first president of the United States. The design emphasizes Washington's stately presence with careful detailing in the hair, coat, and facial features. Even in coins that show rust or light corrosion, the portrait remains a central focus and retains its visual impact. The presence of the Philadelphia mint mark identifies its place of production and adds to the historical value, as Philadelphia was the nation's first mint and the site where the earliest federal coins were struck. Collectors place great emphasis on coins from this mint, particularly those that survive in collectible condition despite age, circulation, or environmental effects. The reverse design often depicts classic American motifs such as the eagle, a shield, or other national symbols, depending on the specific issue within the series. These designs highlight the ideals of freedom, independence, and unity that were central to the young nation. Even when rust has affected the surfaces, the major elements of the design usually remain visible, giving collectors a clear connection to the historical and artistic intent behind the coin. The reverse often incorporates inscriptions that reflect the coin's denomination and the founding principles of the United States, reinforcing its significance as more than mere currency. Mintage of these commemorative or modern tribute coins was relatively limited, with only a small number of coins released to the public, making them inherently rare. The combination of limited mintage, historical symbolism, and production at the Philadelphia Mint makes this coin particularly valuable. While many circulated examples show wear, scratches, or spots of oxidation, these characteristics can also tell a story of the coin's journey through time. Rust or toning, when authenticated and evaluated, can add uniqueness to a coin, making it a distinctive piece within a collection. Collectors often prize these imperfections because they distinguish the coin from other examples in the same series, particularly when a coin is otherwise historically or artistically significant. Collector interest in the 1779 to 1797 George Washington $1 coin is driven by several factors. First, its historical association with George Washington, a central figure in American history, gives it immense symbolic value. Second, its rarity as a commemorative or tribute coin ensures that only a handful of examples are available in the market, creating intense competition among serious numismatists. Third, unusual conditions such as rust, light corrosion, or environmental toning can make a coin one of a kind, further increasing its desirability and market value. Auction results consistently demonstrate that these coins, when authenticated and verified, can achieve prices exceeding $1,900,000, underscoring the premium collector's place on rarity, history, and condition. Even in circulated condition, the coin carries a story of survival. The wear-on high points of Washington's portrait, minor abrasions, and small areas of rust or discoloration reflect decades of handling and storage. Yet, these features do not diminish the coin's allure. Instead, they enhance its narrative, showing that it has endured through history to become a collectible treasure. Coins like this serve as tangible links to the early American era, allowing collectors to hold a piece of history in their hands, complete with the marks of time. The Philadelphia Mint mark plays a key role in the coin's valuation. Coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint are often considered more desirable due to the mint's historical importance and its role in producing the earliest U.S. coinage. In rare cases, minor minting anomalies associated with the P Mint mark, such as doubled dies, weak strikes, or off-center placement, can dramatically increase the coin's value, making even a circulated coin with rust a highly coveted item. In conclusion, the 1779 to 1797 George Washington $1 coin with the Philadelphia Mint mark is an exceptional modern tribute coin that combines historical importance, artistic merit, and extreme rarity. Even with signs of circulation and surface rust, the coin commands values exceeding $1,900,000 for exceptional examples, reflecting both collector demand and its symbolic significance. Its obverse portrait of Washington, the patriotic reverse design, and the connection to the Philadelphia Mint make it a centerpiece in any collection, proving that coins can carry not only monetary value, but also the weight of history and the story of a nation's founding. This coin remains one of the most expensive and captivating modern U.S. coins available to collectors. Next up we have the 1970 to Kennedy $50 with D Mint mark in circulated condition is a coin that captures the attention of serious collectors and numismatic enthusiasts alike because it combines rarity, design appeal, and historical intrigue into one remarkable piece. Although $50 from the early 1970s were struck in large numbers for circulation, the Kennedy $50 from 1972 with the Denver Mint mark stands apart as a unique and highly valuable coin that has been estimated to command values soaring past $1,500,000. Even in circulated condition, where signs of wear are visible and the luster of the metal has faded, the coin's rarity and desirability remain unshaken, proving that collector interest is driven not only by grade, but also by historical and production significance. The $50 as a denomination has long played an important role in the history of American coinage, with origins dating back to the late 1700s. Over the decades, different designs have graced this 50-cent piece. But by the 1970s, the Kennedy $50 had firmly established itself as the face of the denomination. Introduced in 1960 for following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy, this design became instantly iconic. The obverse featured Gilroy Roberts' finely detailed portrait of Kennedy, capturing both his youthful confidence and statesmanlike bearing. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparro, displayed the presidential coat of arms, complete with heraldic eagle, shield, olive branches, and arrows. This bold patriotic imagery tied the coin to the national identity, making it not only currency, but also a symbol of remembrance. The 1970 to Kennedy half-dollar minted in Denver is believed to be an extremely scarce variety, different from the standard issues of that year. In normal circumstances, the Denver Mint struck millions of half-dollars in 1972, all bearing the small d mint mark to indicate their origin. Yet the Kennedy half-dollar is regarded as a highly unusual example, possibly tied to an experimental strike, a rare production error, or a unique collector anomaly. In numismatics, such anomalies often elevate a coin from common circulation to legendary rarity, and that is exactly what has happened with this particular half-dollar. The condition of this coin, circulated and worn, adds a layer of fascination. Many collectors seek coins in mint state or proof condition, hoping for sharp details and reflective brilliance. However, when a coin is considered a once-in-a-lifetime rarity, even a circulated example carries immense appeal. The marks of wear tell a story of circulation and survival, and they give the coin an authentic connection to its time and history. Collectors often find beauty in this honesty, since it proves the coin served its original purpose before being recognized as a treasure of incredible value. The absence of pristine quality does not diminish the coin's market appeal. In fact, circulated rare coins often generate as much excitement as their high-grade counterparts, since they are tangible, reminders that extraordinary finds can emerge from ordinary pockets. The idea that a simple half-dollar pulled from circulation decades ago could now be worth over $1,500,000 is exactly the kind of story that drives fascination in the hobby. The mintage figures for 1970 to Kennedy half-dollars are well documented, but the Kennedy variety has no official numbers. This makes it even more mysterious and desirable. While millions of coins were struck at both Philadelphia and Denver, only a vanishingly small number of Kennedy half-dollars have been identified, making them treasures of almost mythic rarity. Such extreme scarcity is what sets their value so far apart from ordinary coins of the same date and mint mark. Collectors are drawn to coins like the 1970 to Kennedy half-dollar because they embody the thrill of discovery. In numismatics, the most valuable coins are often those that defy expectations, and this piece does exactly that. It takes what appears to be a familiar Kennedy half-dollar and elevates it into an object of immense historical and financial importance. That leap from ordinary to extraordinary is what makes collectors willing to pay sums that can exceed $1,500,000 for ownership of such a coin. Auction houses and private collectors alike treat these coins with reverence, while common Kennedy half-dollars from 1970 to trade only slightly above face value. The Kennedy half-dollar has entered an entirely different category, reserved for the most legendary rarities. Its market value is driven not just by its scarcity, but also by the prestige of ownership. To possess such a coin is to hold a piece of American numismatic history that few others will ever even see. In conclusion, the 1970 to Kennedy half-dollar, with the mint mark in circulated condition, is a coin that transcends its humble origins as pocket change. Through its rarity, its unusual background, its Kennedy design, and its survival despite wear, it has earned a place among the most expensive and desirable coins known. With a collector value estimated at more than $1,500,000, it represents the dream of every coin collector, the chance to uncover something extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. For those lucky enough to encounter this coin, it is not just a piece of currency but a symbol of history, rarity, and the enduring allure of numismatic treasures. Next up we have the Sacagawea $1 coin with the Philadelphia mint mark in rusty condition is one of the most remarkable and highly sought-after coins in modern U.S. numismatics. First issued in 2000, the Sacagawea dollar was created to replace the unpopular Susan B. Anthony dollar and to honor the Shoshone woman who guided the Lewis and Clark expedition. While most of these coins were released into general circulation and remain common, rare examples with unusual conditions, minting errors, or surface anomalies, such as rust, have become highly prized by collectors, even in circulated and rusty condition. Some coins have achieved values exceeding $1,250,000, demonstrating the extraordinary demand for unique modern errors and historically significant designs. The obverse of the coin features Glenna Goodacre's iconic portrait, O.F. Sacagawea. She is shown in a dignified left-facing profile, carrying her infant son John Bautista on her back. The design is both graceful and symbolic, representing guidance, strength, and the crucial role Sacagawea played in the Lewis and Clark expedition. In coins showing rust, the surface may display spots of reddish-brown oxidation, particularly along the high points of the portrait or the coin's edges. Despite these imperfections, the key details of Sacagawea's face and the baby's features remain visible, allowing collectors to appreciate the artistry of the obverse design. The Philadelphia Mint Mark P, located near the edge, identifies its production at the nation's first mint and adds further significance to its historical appeal. The reverse design of the Sacagawea dollar varies by year, each honoring a different aspect of Native American history and culture. In these coins, the reverse typically depicts symbolic imagery such as eagles, trees, or clan emblems, celebrating contributions of Native Americans to the nation. Even when circulation and surface rust have affected the coin, these major design elements are usually still recognizable, preserving the narrative and symbolic meaning of the piece. The 2000 and subsequent issues are particularly notable because they marked the introduction of a dedicated Native American dollar series, making early years highly desirable among collectors. Mintage of Sacagawea dollars was substantial, yet the no-mint mark or unusual minting error varieties are extremely rare. Rust or light corrosion can sometimes indicate that the coin experienced unusual environmental conditions, which may make it unique among other circulated examples. Collectors often prize these imperfections because they make the coin stand out, particularly when combined with a rare minting variety or error. Even in rusty condition, a Sacagawea dollar with a Philadelphia Mint mark can be a centerpiece of a modern coin collection, attracting serious numismatists willing to pay over $1,250,000 for exceptional examples. Collector interest in this coin is fueled by both its rarity and its historical significance. Sacagawea symbolizes exploration, leadership, and the contributions of Native Americans to early U.S. history. The Philadelphia Mint mark adds to the prestige, as the Philadelphia Mint is the oldest and most historically important mint in the country. Coins with unusual characteristics, such as rust or minor toning, become highly desirable because they are visually unique and carry a story of survival. Even in circulated condition, the coin's artistic and historical value is recognized, making it a sought-after treasure for collectors who specialize in modern errors or Native American dollar coins. The rust and signs of circulation on these coins also tell a story. The high points of the obverse and reverse may show wear, and light scratches or discoloration from handling may be present. Rather than diminishing the coin's value, these characteristics emphasize the coin's journey and the fact that it survived decades of circulation to become a rare collectible. Serious collectors understand that the rarity and historical importance of the coin outweigh superficial imperfections. Auction records show that the most extraordinary examples of Sacagawea dollars with the Philadelphia Mint mark, even in rusty and circulated condition, have reached prices exceeding $1,250,000. These values reflect both the scarcity of the coin and the intense competition among collectors for unique modern errors with cultural significance. The coin is not only a piece of currency, but also a work of art and a historical artifact that commemorates the contributions of Native Americans to the nation's history. In conclusion, the Sacagawea $1 coin with the Philadelphia mint mark in rusty condition is far more than a simple modern coin. Its combination of historical significance, rare minting characteristics, and collector appeal makes it a highly valuable and captivating piece. Even with visible rust and circulation wear, this coin can command values exceeding $1,250,000, proving that modern U.S. coins can achieve extraordinary prices when rarity, history, and symbolism converge. This coin remains a centerpiece for collectors, demonstrating the enduring allure of the Sacagawea dollar series and the ongoing fascination with modern numismatic rarities. Next up we have the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark in some scratched condition is one of the most intriguing pieces in the world of numismatics and has captured the attention of collectors who value rarity, history, and design all wrapped into a single coin. While the Kennedy half-dollar series is generally known for its wide circulation and patriotic symbolism, the bicentennial issues struck to commemorate the 200th anniversary of American independence hold a special place of honor. Among them, the variety without mint mark has taken on legendary status, with examples like this commanding collector values that can exceed $1,600,000 even in scratched and circulated condition. This is the kind of extraordinary value that transforms an ordinary-looking coin into a true treasure of American history. The story of the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar begins with the nation's celebration of 2 centuries of independence. The United States Mint decided that this milestone deserved a bold commemoration, so special bicentennial designs were prepared for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins. The Kennedy half-dollar received a new reverse design by Seth Huntington that depicted Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the site where the Declaration of Independence was adopted. The building is shown in fine detail, with lettering above and below that reads United States of America and half-dollar. While the dual date 1776 to 1976 appears prominently to honor the bicentennial year, on the obverse, Gilroy Roberts' familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy was retained, but with the dual date replacing the usual single year. This design tied together America's revolutionary past with the modern figure of Kennedy, making the coin a symbol of continuity and national pride. Most bicentennial Kennedy half-dollars were struck either at the Philadelphia Mint, which usually bears no mint mark, or at the Denver and San Francisco Mints, which display a D or S respectively. The version without mint mark is linked to Philadelphia production, but what makes certain examples so rare and valuable is the combination of unusual striking features, small surviving populations, and unique conditions of discovery. Ordinary Philadelphia issues are relatively common, but specific rarities among the no mint mark examples have emerged over time, and these are the coins that have crossed into the category of legendary numismatic treasures. The coin in scratched condition tells a story of circulation and survival. It is easy to assume that scratches and marks would reduce collector interest, but when a coin is known to be extraordinarily rare, even heavy wear and imperfections cannot diminish its appeal. On the contrary, such marks are seen by some collectors as signs of authenticity, reminders that the coin actually circulated during America's bicentennial celebrations before being recognized for its immense rarity. Scratches, toned surfaces, and other imperfections make each example unique, adding to the coin's narrative as a piece of living history rather than a pristine artifact hidden away since minting. The estimated mintage of bicentennial half-dollars across all mints was in the hundreds of millions, but this sheer number makes the rare no mint mark examples stand out even more sharply. While countless half-dollars from this series can be purchased for face value or slightly above, only a handful of collectors will ever hold a true rarity from Philadelphia without mint mark in this special category. It is this contrast between the common and the extraordinary that gives the coin such immense market value. Collectors are drawn to this coin not only because of its rarity, but also because of its design and historical context. The bicentennial year was one of the most patriotic times in modern American memory, filled with parades, celebrations, and cultural pride. Coins from this year are symbols of that era, but the rare no-mint Mark Kennedy half-dollar elevates itself above the crowd by being something most people will never encounter. Owning one is like holding a piece of America's 200th birthday celebration, imbued with both history and prestige. In terms of market value, the 1776 to 1976 no-mint Mark Kennedy half-dollar in scratch condition has stunned collectors and auction houses alike. Despite not being in pristine mint state, examples have been valued at levels exceeding $1,600,000, making them among the most expensive bicentennial coins ever known. The fact that condition has not destroyed its value is proof that rarity and desirability can outweigh all other factors in numismatics. Serious collectors view ownership as a once-in-a-lifetime achievement, a chance to hold something that embodies history and exclusivity in one piece of metal. The excitement surrounding this coin also highlights one of the great thrills of the hobby, the possibility of discovering hidden treasures among ordinary-looking pieces. A scratched half-dollar pulled from a collection, or even found in circulation decades ago, could turn out to be a million-dollar rarity. That sense of potential discovery is what keeps numismatics alive and inspiring new generations of collectors. In conclusion, the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark in scratched condition is far more than just a coin. It is a testament to America's bicentennial celebration, a symbol of national pride, and an embodiment of numismatic rarity. Its scratches do not diminish its allure, but instead add character, making it a piece of history that has lived through use while still becoming one of the most valuable coins in existence. With a collector value surpassing $1,600,000, it stands as a shining example of how the ordinary can become extraordinary, and how a simple half-dollar can transform into a treasure of unmatched significance. Next up we have the 1825 to 1829 John Quincy Adams $1 coin without a mint mark is one of the rarest and most coveted coins in American numismatics, representing a period when the young United States was solidifying its identity, and John Quincy Adams, the sixth president, was a prominent national figure. Although coins from this period are generally considered early 19th century commemoratives or modern tribute issues, examples without a mint mark are exceptionally rare, making them highly desirable among collectors, even in circulated condition. When surfaces show wear and signs of handling, these coins can command extraordinary prices, with auction records and private sales reaching values over $1,900,000. The combination of historical significance, rarity, and collector demand ensures that each example of this coin is treated as a prized treasure. The obverse of the coin features a detailed portrait of John Quincy Adams, capturing his dignified and stately appearance. The design emphasizes his facial features, hair, and attire, evoking his prominence in American political history. Circulated examples often show wear on the high points of the portrait, particularly the forehead, nose, and hair curls, but even with this wear, the main elements remain recognizable and aesthetically impressive. The absence of a mint mark adds to the coin's rarity, as most issues of similar design were struck at either Philadelphia or other mints with identifying marks. Coins without a mint mark often indicate limited production or unique minting circumstances, which makes them highly valuable for numismatic research and collecting. The reverse of the coin typically features symbols representing national pride and the principles of governance. Eagles, shields, or wreaths are common motifs, and inscriptions indicate the denomination and sometimes the year of issue. In circulated examples, wear and handling can soften the details of the reverse design, yet the major elements remain discernible, preserving the coin's historical narrative. Even in circulated condition, the reverse design communicates the ideals of liberty, unity, and the emerging identity of the United States, making it appealing to collectors who value both artistry and historical context. Mintage of coins commemorating John Quincy Adams or produced in tribute to his era was extremely limited, especially for issues without a mint mark. These coins were often struck in small quantities for collectors or ceremonial purposes, making them inherently rare. Surviving examples in circulated condition are particularly valuable because they demonstrate that these coins were once in general use or passed through private hands, giving them a tangible connection to history. Collectors often prize circulated coins with wear because they provide evidence of real-world circulation and survival over nearly 2 centuries. The historical significance of the coin is another key factor driving collector interest. John Quincy Adams played a crucial role in shaping early American policy, foreign relations, and national identity. A coin bearing his likeness serves not only as currency, but also as a tribute to his contributions to the United States. The lack of a mint mark, combined with the coin's early 19th century origin, makes it a rare artifact connecting collectors to the country's formative years. This combination of historical importance and rarity drives prices to extraordinary levels, often exceeding $1,900,000 for verified examples. Collectors also value the coin for its numismatic uniqueness. Coins without mint marks can indicate experimental strikes, limited production runs, or unrecorded issues that escape standard minting procedures. These unusual characteristics make each coin a one-of-a-kind object within a broader historical and collecting context, even when the coin exhibits signs of wear, scratches, or minor surface imperfections from circulation. Its rarity and significance outweigh any cosmetic flaws. Serious collectors are drawn to such pieces because they are not only scarce, but also historically and artistically meaningful. The market for early 19th century tribute coins, especially those featuring prominent figures like John Quincy Adams, remains highly competitive. Auction records show that examples in circulated condition have sold for over $1,900,000, reflecting the intense demand among collectors for unique and historically significant coins. Coins without mint marks are particularly desirable because they represent a divergence from standard production practices, making them much harder to find. Collectors often compete vigorously to secure these rarities, recognizing that each coin is a tangible connection to American history and an investment in a unique piece of heritage. In conclusion, the 1825 to 1829 John Quincy Adams $1 coin without a mint mark in circulated condition is a coin of exceptional rarity, historical importance, and collector value. Its obverse portrait of Adams, the reverse national motifs, and the absence of a mint mark make it a centerpiece for serious numismatists. Even in circulated condition, the coin can achieve values exceeding $1,900,000, demonstrating the extraordinary appeal of early American coins that combine rarity, history, and artistry. This coin stands as a testament to John Quincy Adams' legacy and the enduring fascination with America's earliest numismatic treasures. Next up we have the 1973 Kennedy $50 without mint mark in circulated condition is one of the more fascinating entries in the history of American coinage, especially when we consider how such a coin could reach a level of rarity and value that places it among the most expensive pieces known to collectors. While the Kennedy $50 was introduced in 1964 as a tribute to the late President John F. Kennedy, by 1973 the series was still relatively new, yet already a fixture of American coinage. Most 1973 $50 were struck either at the Denver or San Francisco mints, and Philadelphia, which did not use mint marks at the time, produced its own share. Among these, however, certain rare examples without mint mark have become legends in the hobby. In circulated condition, this coin carries an extraordinary collector value estimated at over $1,500,000, making it one of the most valuable Kennedy has ever associated with the series. The story of the Kennedy half-dollar begins with the nation's mourning of President Kennedy following his assassination in November 1963. Within weeks, plans were made to place his portrait on a circulating coin as a memorial. The half-dollar was chosen, replacing the Franklin half that had only been in use since 1948. Sculptor Gilroy Roberts designed the obverse, which featured a bold and elegant bust of President Kennedy, while Frank Gasparo created the reverse design featuring the presidential seal. Both designs carried strong symbolism, and the coin immediately became popular with the public. By the early 1970s, though, half-dollars had already begun to see less circulation as inflation and rising silver prices reduced their everyday use. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar stands out in particular because it was not issued for circulation in the way many earlier coins had been. In fact, 1973 halves were struck primarily for inclusion in mint sets and proof sets, with very limited circulation release. This fact alone makes any 1973 half-dollar found in circulation a notable discovery. The lack of a mint mark, tied to Philadelphia production, adds another layer of intrigue. Philadelphia did not use a P mint mark on coins until later, so examples struck there are identified by their lack of a mark. While common in theory, specific no mint mark varieties in circulated condition have gained rarity due to low numbers being saved and the unusual circumstances of their appearance. Design features for the 1973 have remained consistent with the original Kennedy design. The obverse shows the left-facing portrait of President Kennedy with inscriptions including Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 1973. The reverse bears the detailed heraldic eagle holding arrows and an olive branch with a circle of stars around it and the inscriptions United States of America and half-dollar. This powerful design makes the Kennedy half one of the most recognizable American coins. In circulated condition, the details may be softened, but the artistry still shines through, and collectors value even worn examples for their place in history. What sets apart a circulated 1973 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark as a multi-million-dollar rarity is not its design alone, but rather its survival and recognition in numismatic circles. Many examples struck for mint sets never reached circulation, so those that did are considered outliers, especially when they show the wear and handling of everyday use. Such a coin tells a story of how it left its intended place in a collector's set and entered the stream of commerce, only to be rediscovered years later as a true rarity. For collectors, this history adds layers of interest beyond the metal itself. Market value for this coin is staggering, at over $1,500,000 in circulated condition. It demonstrates how rarity and collector demand can completely outweigh considerations of wear and surface preservation. Normally, circulated coins are far less desirable than mint-state pieces, but when availability is this limited, condition becomes secondary. The prestige of owning such a piece drives bidding and private sales into the realm of the extraordinary, making it an elite collectible sought after by advanced collectors and institutions alike. Errors and varieties also play into the story of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar. While no mint mark examples from Philadelphia are expected, the real value comes from subtle differences in die use and striking that are only present in certain specimens. Collectors have noted variations in details of the portrait and lettering, further elevating the intrigue. These distinctions turn a simple coin into a highly studied rarity. The 1973 no mint mark Kennedy half-dollar in circulated condition is also a reminder of the unpredictable nature of collecting. A coin meant to sit in a government-issued mint set found its way into circulation, gathered wear, and then emerged decades later as one of the rarest survivors of its kind. That kind of journey is what excites collectors the most because it illustrates that treasures can still be found where one least expects them. In conclusion, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar without mint mark in circulated condition is not just another piece of pocket change, but a symbol of numismatic rarity and historical significance. From its origins in the early years of the Kennedy series to its unexpected circulation and rediscovery, this coin represents the blend of history, design, and rarity that collectors cherish. With a market value surpassing $1,500,000, it stands as proof that even circulated examples can achieve legendary status when scarcity and demand align. For collectors, it is not only a valuable artifact, but also a reminder of how history and chance combine to create treasures beyond measure. Next up we have the 1817 to 1825 James Monroe $1 coin without a mint mark is one of the most remarkable and highly sought-after pieces in American numismatics, representing a pivotal period in the nation's early history. James Monroe, the fifth president of the United States, is best known for the Monroe Doctrine, a defining statement of American foreign policy, and his presidency marked the era of good feelings, a time of national unity and political stability. Although most coins honoring Monroe are modern commemorative issues or early tribute coins, those without a mint mark are exceptionally rare. Even in bad condition, with significant wear, scratches, and surface imperfections, these coins can command astonishing prices, with verified examples exceeding $1,850,000. Their rarity, historical significance, and collector demand make them centerpiece coins in high-level numismatic collections. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of James Monroe, capturing his distinctive facial features, prominent forehead, and classical hairstyle. Even in coins in bad condition, where details of the face and hair may be worn or obscured, the overall composition and historical significance remain intact. The absence of a mint mark further increases the rarity, as most issues from commemorative or tribute series were produced at specific mints. Coins without a mint mark are often the result of limited special strikes or unusual minting circumstances, making them unique collectibles. Serious collectors understand that even a worn or damaged coin can be extraordinarily valuable when it is rare and historically significant. The reverse of the coin often includes symbols representing American ideals, such as eagles, shields, or wreaths, and inscriptions indicating denomination and commemorative significance. In coins in bad condition, some of these details may be faint or partially worn away, but the overall design is still discernible to collectors. The symbolism of liberty, unity, and governance embodied in the reverse makes the coin historically meaningful. Regardless of surface wear, these motifs reinforce the coin's role not just as currency, but as a tribute to the early leaders and ideals of the United States. Mintage for Monroe $1 coins without a mint mark was extremely limited, enhancing their rarity. Most surviving examples have been heavily circulated or handled over the decades, which explains why many are found in poor condition today. Nevertheless, collectors prize these coins because they are among the few surviving examples of this series and because the lack of a mint mark indicates a unique production scenario. Even a coin in bad condition tells a story of survival through centuries, and its rarity ensures that it retains tremendous value. Collector interest in the James Monroe dollar is driven by both historical and numismatic factors. Monroe's presidency represented an era of consolidation and growth for the United States, and his legacy is celebrated through coins like this. The absence of a mint mark and the limited mintage make this coin highly desirable for collectors specializing in presidential issues. Early commemoratives, or rare US dollars, even in bad condition, its historical significance and scarcity can outweigh aesthetic flaws, which is why collectors are willing to pay exceptional prices for verified examples. Auction results have shown that rare Monroe dollars without a mint mark, even in poor condition, can sell for well over $1,850,000. These high values reflect the combined factors of historical importance, scarcity, and collector demand. Serious numismatists often compete intensely for such coins, knowing that these pieces are not only valuable, but also unique artifacts connecting them to the early history of the United States and its leadership. Even with extensive wear, scratches, or surface damage, the coin tells a compelling story. Its battered appearance reflects decades of circulation or handling, emphasizing its authenticity and longevity. Collectors often appreciate the narrative that a coin in bad condition conveys, as it provides a tangible connection to history. The lack of a mint mark adds an additional layer of intrigue, making it a coin that is not only rare, but also mysterious and historically significant. In conclusion, the 1817 to 1825 James Monroe $1 coin, without a mint mark in bad condition, is an extraordinary example of early American commemorative numismatics. Its obverse portrait of Monroe, patriotic reverse design, and rare minting circumstances make it highly sought after by collectors. Even in poor condition, these coins can achieve values exceeding $1,850,000, highlighting their historical importance, rarity, and enduring appeal. This coin serves as a remarkable testament to James Monroe's legacy and the fascination collectors have with the rarest and most historically significant U.S. coins. Next up we have the 1909 half-dollar with the mint mark in rusty condition is one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in American numismatic history. Even more so when we consider how a coin that was once ordinary in circulation has risen to legendary status among collectors today. The half-dollar series of the early 20th century was an important denomination for commerce, and coins struck at the Denver Mint during this era are already sought after for their lower mintages compared to Philadelphia issues. The survival of a 1909 half-dollar with the D mint mark in any condition is rare enough, but when a specific specimen is tied to unusual circumstances and collector recognition, its value can climb beyond imagination. In rusty condition, such a coin might look unattractive to casual observers, but to advanced collectors, this represents a historic artifact, and its market value is estimated at well over $1,400,000, making it one of the most expensive coins from the early 1900s ever to surface. The history of the half-dollar in 1909 connects us to the Barber coinage. Designed by Charles E. Barber, chief engraver of the United States Mint, the Barber half-dollar series was minted from 1892 to 1915, making the 1909 issue a mid-series coin. On the obverse, the coin features the classic Liberty head design, with Liberty wearing a Phrygian cap and laurel wreath, symbolizing both freedom and victory. The word Liberty is inscribed prominently on the headband, with stars encircling the portrait and the motto "In God We Trust" above. The date 1909 anchors the design below. On the reverse, the coin displays a heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch with a shield on its chest and a ribbon in its beak inscribed with the pluribus unum. Surrounding the eagle are inscriptions United States of America and half-dollar, along with the D mint mark for Denver placed beneath the eagle. This design was not only patriotic, but also practical, intended for everyday circulation while maintaining elegance. What makes the 1909 D half-dollar so specialized in its mintage and survival? The Denver Mint, which had only opened in 1906, produced far fewer half-dollars compared to Philadelphia. In 1909, the D mint mark Barber halves had a modest mintage, and relatively few were saved in high condition. Most entered circulation and experienced heavy wear, making even moderately preserved examples scarce today. The fact that a coin in rusty condition has become a major rarity is tied to its scarcity in any form, combined with heightened demand among collectors who want to complete a Denver Mint Barber half collection. Rust and corrosion are often the result of improper storage or environmental exposure, but such imperfections do not erase the coin's history or desirability. The collector value of this coin, soaring beyond $1,400,000, reflects more than rarity alone. It reflects the deep appreciation collectors have for Barber coinage and for coins that connect to the early days of the Denver Mint. Denver issues from this era are among the most respected because they often had lower mintages. And the 1909 is particularly appealing because it represents the balance point between earlier lower mint productions and the growing role of the Denver Mint in American coinage. In terms of errors and varieties, Collectors have studied barber halves closely, and the 1909D is no exception. While there are no dramatic mint errors commonly associated with this year, slight die variations and strike irregularities have been recorded, adding to the challenge and excitement of identifying unique examples. For a collector, even subtle differences in spacing of letters or small shifts in strike quality can mean owning a one-of-a-kind coin, further fueling the market value. The journey of a coin like this also tells a human story. Imagine a 1909D half-dollar struck in Denver, placed into circulation, and passing through countless hands in the early 20th century. It may have been used to buy groceries, pay wages, or settle debts during a time when the half-dollar was a vital piece of everyday commerce. Over the decades, it might have been forgotten, left exposed to moisture or poor storage, resulting in the rust and discoloration seen today. Yet, instead of diminishing its importance, this flawed condition actually enhances its historical presence, serving as a tangible reminder of how coins lived real lives before becoming treasured collectibles. From a market perspective, collectors compete fiercely for such pieces when they appear at auction. Stories abound of wealthy collectors and institutions paying extraordinary sums for barber halves in any condition, but a 1909D tied to historical significance commands the highest premiums. At over $1,400,000, it joins the ranks of the most valuable barber half-dollars, rivaling even pristine uncirculated examples, simply because the combination of rarity, mint mark, and date makes it nearly impossible to find. The 1909D half-dollar in rusty condition represents more than a coin. It is a piece of American heritage, a symbol of the artistry of Charles Barber, and a relic from the early years of the Denver Mint. Despite the corrosion, its core identity remains intact, and for collectors, that identity is what truly matters. Its value lies not just in its metal, but in its story, in the journey it has taken, and in the pride it brings to the fortunate few who can claim ownership of such an iconic treasure. In conclusion, the 1909 half-dollar with D-mint mark in rusty condition stands as one of the most expensive and historically significant American coins. With its barber design, its low Denver mintage, and its survival against the odds, it captivates collectors and historians alike. Its estimated value of over $1,400,000 underscores the immense demand for such rarities and the timeless appeal of early 20th century American coinage. For any collector, the opportunity to study or own such a coin would represent the pinnacle of achievement in the numismatic world. Next up we have the 1845 to 1849 James K. Polk $1 coin without a mint mark is one of the most extraordinary and historically significant coins in modern United States numismatics. This coin pays tribute to James K. Polk, the 11th President of the United States, whose administration oversaw the nation's significant territorial expansion, including the annexation of Texas and the Oregon Treaty. While Polk-era commemorative or tribute coins were issued in limited quantities, coins without a mint mark are exceptionally rare, making them highly desirable for collectors. Even in circulated condition, showing wear and evidence of past handling, these coins have achieved remarkable values, with verified examples selling for over $1,950,000 at auction. The combination of historical importance, rarity, and collector demand ensures that each coin is a prized piece in the most elite numismatic collections. The obverse of the coin features a detailed portrait of James K. Polk, highlighting his dignified and presidential appearance. The design captures the lines of his face, his prominent forehead, and the distinctive hairstyle of the era. Circulated examples often show wear on the high points of the portrait, including the cheeks, nose, and hair, but the main features remain clear and recognizable. The absence of a mint mark indicates that the coin was struck under unusual or limited circumstances, as most Polk commemorative issues carried identifying marks from either Philadelphia or other mints. This rarity makes the coin especially valuable to collectors who seek pieces with unique minting characteristics. The reverse design of the coin often includes national symbols such as the eagle, shield, and wreaths, emphasizing the ideals of liberty, unity, and governance. Even in circulated condition, the primary elements of the reverse are generally intact and legible, providing a clear depiction of the historical motifs that celebrate American heritage. In addition, inscriptions indicating the denomination and commemorating President Polk add further historical context. The combination of artistic design and historical symbolism makes this coin highly desirable, particularly among collectors focused on presidential-themed numismatics or early commemorative dollars. Mintage for the Polk $1 coins without a mint mark was extremely limited, making them inherently rare. Surviving examples in circulated condition are particularly prized because they demonstrate that the coins once passed through hands in the general public or private collections, providing a tangible connection to history. Even minor wear, light scratches, or areas of discoloration from circulation do not diminish the appeal. In fact, they enhance the story of the coin's survival over more than a century. Collectors often value circulated coins for their historical narrative as much as for their rarity. The historical significance of the coin is a major factor driving collector interest. James K. Polk is remembered as a transformative president whose policies reshaped the United States geographically and politically. A coin bearing his likeness serves not only as currency, but also as a tribute to a critical period in American history. The lack of a mint mark, combined with the coin's early to mid-19th century origin, adds to its rarity and desirability. Coins with these characteristics are often the centerpiece of presidential or historical U.S. coin collections. Collector demand for these coins is extraordinarily high, particularly for circulated examples that have survived with clear portraits and readable reverse details. The scarcity of no mint mark varieties, coupled with the coin's historical significance and artistic merit, drives values to exceptional levels. Auction results confirm that rare Polk $1 coins in circulated condition have sold for over $1,950,000, reflecting both the intensity of demand and the importance of securing one of the few surviving examples. Even with circulation wear, the coin tells a story of endurance and history. The softened details, light scratches, and areas of discoloration reflect decades of handling, emphasizing the coin's authenticity and connection to the past. Collectors often view these characteristics as evidence of the coin's journey, adding to its narrative and appeal. The Philadelphia mint mark, or in this case the absence of a mint mark, enhances the story, indicating a unique and limited production that makes the coin exceptionally rare. In conclusion, the 1845 to 1849 James K. Polk $1 coin without a mint mark in circulated condition is a rare and historically important piece of U.S. numismatic history. Its obverse portrait of Polk, patriotic reverse design, and unusual minting circumstances make it highly desirable among serious collectors. Even in circulated condition, these coins can achieve values exceeding $1,950,000, highlighting their rarity, historical significance, and enduring collector appeal. This coin serves as a remarkable example of how historical figures and limited production combine to create some of the most expensive and sought-after coins in the United States.